Hey, welcome to episode 3 of The Language of Abuse. This is the series where we are attempting to provide some clarity into some of the most commonly used and misused words within the modern mental health space. On the last session, we spoke about dependency. This is something that you need. Something that you need is something that you can't live without. Okay, and on this session, we're going to talk about one way in which that dependency is set up in narcissistically abusive relationships. So if you're coming out of a toxic relationship, or perhaps it was your boss that was extremely coercive and controlling, maybe it was someone in your family growing up, then you've probably heard of love bombing. Most people would agree that, love bombing is just being really nice. Yeah, it's people being really nice and paying you lots of attention and giving you lots of affection and energy at the beginning of a relationship. That's love bombing. In reality, it's a lot more extreme. It is overwhelming. And on this video, I'm going to talk about what it actually is and where it comes from and really why it happens as well. So it actually comes from cults. And funnily enough, I think it was the Moonies, or the Unification Church as it was known, back in the 1970s and 1980s, where the term was first used. And it's funny actually, because this is Stephen Hassan's cult. So Stephen Hassan is the doctor who taught me most of what I know about cults today. Hassan, when he was 19 years old, he had just been broken up with by his girlfriend at college. And he remembers sitting in the college cafeteria when he was approached by 2 or 3 beautiful young women who sat down with him in the cafeteria, and they were batting their eyelids at him and giving him an enormous and overwhelming amount of flattery and praise and admiration, and they were hanging off his every single word. And it turns out that these 3 women were part of the Unification Church. And Hassan went along with them because why wouldn't you? You've got 3 beautiful women coming to talk to you after you're in the absolute dumps. And of course you go along to the session. And he went along to the sessions, and before you know it, he's going along to more and more and more and paying attention to what the Unification Church is teaching. And he rose to the rank of pretty much Sun Myung Moon's right-hand man. And when he left, by sheer happenstance and complete chance, he actually went on to study cults and toxic abuse himself, and has gone on to make a career out of it, and has built now 50 plus years of experience as a cult expert. So he describes how this early stage disarms, confuses, and gets you addicted to that overwhelming level of attention that you get. And that's the difference between somebody giving you a bit of attention, being nice to you, and be buying you presents at the beginning of your relationship, and somebody overwhelming you with excessive admiration. Love bombing, it takes it to the whole next level. It's intense. It is also very, very sudden. It happens very quickly. So the beginning of narcissistically abusive relationships, and is used in recruitment drives as well for cults, it happens very, very quickly. Like that, right? It is not a genuine love either. I want to just stipulate this. It is an artificial love, an artificial trust built by bombarding you with this intense, overwhelming, excessive, artificial trust all of a sudden, very, very quickly. And this is, Grannon actually described it as a form of trauma itself. So when you are on the receiving end of this barrage of love, fake love, right? And attention and affection and generosity, and they're hanging off your every word and this, that, and the other, it just knocks you off. It completely knocks you off balance. It leaves you very vulnerable to control. It overwhelms your senses. You don't really know what's going on at the time. You're just, wow, this is incredible. I've never been told this before. And then it's again, and it's again, and it's again. But the key with love bombing is it's also conditional. It's entirely dependent. Again, there's that word, right? It's that condition. It's dependent on you repaying that fake love and that energy and attention with loyalty, with unconditional love in response, okay? Because it's not real. It's not real love when it comes to love bombing. It's bait, okay? It's an attempt to coerce you into giving loyalty and your commitment to, it could be a cult, it could be attending meetings, or it could be going along to meetups and committing a certain amount of time, or committing to a certain quota of giving out leaflets or whatever it is to this group. It could be committing to undying love to a certain person. If you were in a toxic relationship with a person, a narcissistically abusive romantic relationship, then it's probably going to be more likely to be that undying romantic love, right? But when it comes to love bombing, it is intense, it is sudden, and it is conditional. And it reminds me of this quote as well from Margaret Singer, right? She was saying that it is a coordinated effort, okay? It is a deliberate attempt to verbally seduce you, okay? I want to look at some examples of this. So in a romantic relationship, think love languages on steroids. We're not just talking buying gifts, we're talking lavish gifts, okay? You can expect very expensive gifts coming your way. Very high contact time as well. So we're not just talking phoning you in the evening, we're talking you phoning you every evening. We're talking continuous contact time. Compliments and admiration, but very big compliments. A lot of the time they're laying it on thick, right? Doing things for you, but not just doing little things here or there as appropriate in the start of a romantic relationship, but doing everything for you to the point that it might even make you feel a little uncomfortable and overwhelmed. That's the point. Very touchy-feely as well. And we're not just talking like public displays of affection, which it absolutely can be, but I have not yet come across somebody who's been in a narcissistically abusive relationship that hasn't described their early sex life as being very passionate, very elaborate, very over the top. So all of that comes together to form this intense, sudden, and overwhelming wash of affection and what feels like unconditional love at the very, very beginning. In a professional setting, you got to think the perfect employee, okay? We're talking a rapid escalation of perks and privileges, not just, hey, welcome to the new role. These are your new offices. This is your new perks. We're talking, we're stacking them up quick, right? You get this and you get that, and you do this and you do that, and you get this bonus as well and this benefit, and I'm going to open these doors for you. And there's a lot of high contact time as well within professional settings, lots of one-to-ones, lots of calls. The calls get longer. You're in constant communication as well, potentially, if your boss is a narcissist. A lot of compliments and praise, maybe less so in terms of, oh, you're so beautiful, you're so wonderful, which is what you might expect from the personal narcissistically abusive relationship, but definitely, you're great at your job, you're so amazing, you're so smart, you're so effective, you know, the sorts of things that you would expect in the office. You might find that they're opening a lot of doors for you. This love bombing phase within the office is very much like, I'm going to do everything for you, but within the context of the office, and even going so far as into personal favors as well. And so with these examples of love bombing, we come back to the definition is not actually necessarily love. Okay, it's not about love in an affectionate sense, or in a loving sense, a genuinely loving sense. It's about overwhelming you to get you addicted to them, so you give them loyalty, so that you submit, so that you give them your compliance. That is what love bombing is. That is the purpose of love bombing. It is to make you compliant. It is to win your loyalty by disarming you, by confusing you, and by overwhelming you with levels of affection and praise and compliments and opening doors for you and doing favors for you and escalating your perks and benefits at work, or giving you lavish gifts and getting very touchy-feely with you to the point that you believe it's real. So with that, I want to thank you so much for watching. If you do have any questions, just go ahead and drop them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them all there. And if you're ready to understand the true meaning of what trauma bonding is, you can go ahead and click the next video, and I will see you in just a short moment.